reach into the sky. There are mountain people who are fierce. Yes, the land is beautiful, but we cannot take the land. Of course, there was Joshua and Caleb. Caleb was an old gray-headed man, sort of like Mark Presley back there. Been around for a long time, you know. And young Joshua, they said, yes, we can take the land. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. If God be with us, if God made a promise to us, then God has already prepared the way. We are well able to take the land. But the people listened to the majority report. That was Moses' generation. They got all the way to the banks of the river Jordan and turned around and went back into the wilderness for another 40 years till they all died out. Now a new generation has been raised up. Well, it was 40 years ago that King was here. And 40 years last year to commemorate the assassination of the mountaintop speech. You should have been there in Memphis, Tennessee. People from all over the world came, and there were people who were claiming that they were the beloved community right now. And they said some theologically questionable stuff. They were talking about the resurrection. They were talking about that we have spent the last 40 years in the wilderness. God had set free, had overcome the civil rights and Jim Crow, but we had wasted those 40 years in the wilderness, and now something was going to happen. That the Kairos moment was about to take place. And at that time, we really didn't believe that Barack Obama had a ghost of a chance. I didn't. I'm being honest. I was really ready to vote for Hillary. I was, because it made sense, but something happened on November the 4th that cracked open history. I don't know who you voted for or who you're in favor, but something has happened now at this time that is one of those moments where we have an opportunity to shape an alternative future. We can decide to cross the Jordan or go back into the wilderness. It's a time when the financial systems that have been in place for many years are crumbling and falling apart, and old assumptions don't hold anymore. It's a time when systems that we relied on, that we thought were rock solid, no longer. AIG, Citibank. I mean, these are foundational institutions that we knew were going to be there. Our 401ks are invested in it. We risked our future on it, and they are shaking at the very foundation. Something is going on. Something is happening. Are you going to cross the Jordan or not? What's your decision? What kind of leadership is necessary for today? It's a question I think that we need to begin to ask ourselves. We need to understand something about Joshua. Joshua was not a Johnny-come-lately. Joshua had been with Moses from the very beginning. He waited at the foot of the mountain when he went up to receive the law. He followed him around. He watched him. You can't learn leadership from a book. You learn leadership from leaders. We need leadership that know how to be followers. A true leader, someone who is going to be able to walk where people have not walked before, take on challenges that everybody says is impossible, has to be a witness to the impossible. Has to have been there and noticed that God parted the Red Sea. I mean, all of those folks who walked through the Red Sea, but somehow forgot who opened up the sea. They witnessed the miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle and took it for granted and didn't understand the import of it. And there are many of us today who have lived through miracle after miracle and seen God act over and over again, but when we go into the land, we see giants. And we become grasshoppers in our own sight. We say it's too powerful. The forces are too entrenched. We can't do it. We can't provide health care for everybody in the country. It costs too much. We can't make sure that everybody will get good education. What about my child? If I give everybody good education, my own child's education might be somehow compromised. We can't make sure everybody has a home. How much is that going to cost? There are giants in the land. The walls are too big. We can't do it. But God has promised it to us. God has already prepared the way. God is with us. But we are too busy looking at the sand and complaining about the cafeteria, the manna that's coming out of the sky. What is this stuff, this manna? When we get some more water, how about some more meat? I wish I was back in Egypt. He brought us out here in this desert so we can die. It's too hard. We gotta read all these books. And God keeps working miracles and we don't see. And so when we face the giants, we forget all about God and we are focused only on our own strength. Well, we need to be a leader. You have to have seen it done. You have to, if you don't have a mentor, if you're not an apprentice to somebody, if you have not been under a great leader, it's going to be hard for you when you come across giants. It's going to be difficult when you stand before the walls of Jericho. You have to be a follower before you can be a leader. You have to know where you come from. You have to know something about your history. You have to have been there to be a leader. Joseph and Joshua was like that. We need leaders in the Joshua generation that know how to follow, that know their history, that have noticed God in action. Because God's always in action. The question is, can you see it? Do you have eyes to see? Do you have ears to hear what God is doing? And then you have to be careful. Because you've got to know the Word. You not just read the Word, not just study Word. You have to know the Word. You have to. I'm not talking about quoting scriptures, or proof texts in every time, but you have to know the Word. You know what I mean by know? The Bible talks about knowing, and we think about it, in sexual terms sometimes. You become intimate with the Word. You experience the Word. The Word becomes a part of you, and you live out the Word. The Word is ever present in your mouth. It walks with you. It talks with you. It takes long walks on the beach with you. It wakes you up in the morning. Moses told them that if you don't have the Word, if you don't follow this law, you will fall.